Hi, everyone. It's Michelle from the Child Protection Center's personal safety team. And if you're anything like me right now, you will do anything for a moment of quiet. Right now, I'm in my pantry so I can hide and eat M&Ms without my children bothering me because it's just so important to have a moment to myself and a moment of peace and quiet. And right now, the pantry works. The pantry's doing just fine. The M&Ms are pretty great too. But if I'm not in the pantry, sometimes I am, not sometimes, I am very often giving my child his tablet way more than I ever would. And I don't care. I don't even feel guilty about it because it is survival, and survival is important. So tablets, screen time happening way more often than they ever would have, and that's okay. Also, you're schooling your children via tablet or screen time. So no matter what way you cut it, they're on some kind of screen more than they would be if they were allowed outside, if they were allowed in school, and if we maybe weren't losing our minds. But this means that a lot of unsafe people are also online. And they always are, but especially now when there's really nothing else to do, unsafe people are online too. So I am not saying don't give your child a tablet. Your sanity is important, but I don't want to overlook techniques on how to help keep your kids safe while they are on these tablets and using their screen time. So use this opportunity while you're all together to teach them and to make sure that they are being safe online. So just some quick tips for you as caregivers to help make sure your children are staying safe through this time with more screen time than they probably ever would in any other circumstance. Keep your devices in a high traffic area. Kitchen, the living room, wherever is a high traffic area, keep devices there. Don't let kids just be shut in their room all day with their devices. In a high traffic area, does that mean that nothing unsafe will happen to them? No, but your children are a lot less likely to engage in risky behaviors when it's done in front of the entire family. So keep your devices in high traffic areas. Establish a nighttime routine. So the other thing that's happening right now is nighttime routines are a little strange. Kids are going to bed later, they're sleeping in later. Our rules at night are kind of not as strict as they would have been if we were on a normal school time schedule. But make sure you have a schedule for your devices. So just because they don't have school in the morning and can be up maybe a little bit later, don't let their devices go to bed with them. There are many studies that show that nothing good happens late night on a tablet or a cell phone for a child. It increases depression and anxiety and also increases their likelihood of engaging in risky behaviors. There's no need for children to have their phones in their bedroom late at night. So have a check-in process. You all check your phones in together at a certain time, and you are all off your phones beginning at a certain time. And then the next morning, everyone can check their phones back out together. That way they're charging all night, and it's a family rule, but something great to establish in your household. Maintain access to your child's device. It's yours, it's not theirs. It is your device that they have the privilege of using. So make sure that you have access to it at all times so that you can see what is happening on their devices. Communicate with them. What are they doing? What do you do on your phone? What apps do you have? And don't just say like, oh, tell me what you like to do. Show me what you like to do. If you see your child playing on the app or engaging on the app, you're a lot more likely to know what they are actually doing on those apps. Who is talking to them? How are they communicating on that app? So show me what you are doing on these apps. Tell me who you're talking to, and explain to your children who a stranger is. That sounds so silly, I know, but we grew up in a world where we know strangers are people we don't know face to face, because that is how we connected, how we met people. But this younger generation, they meet and connect online. So a stranger for them is a little bit confusing because they think that if they're talking to someone for an extended period of time, they're no longer a stranger, they're a friend. So take this time to explain who a stranger is, what they should and should not be sharing, which includes personal and inappropriate information, and that they should never meet up with strangers online. And once again, define that term stranger, someone that you do not know face to face. This is a wonderful time to create a cell phone contract or a social media contract as well. You don't want kids becoming addicted to these apps, which they will. Everyone gets addicted to their screens. We know plenty of adults who are addicted to their screens. Kids will be too. So really setting these time limits and maybe contracts. So after your child does something creative, does something school, does a chore, whatever it may be that they need to check off a list, then they can play on their tablet. And for X amount of time, whatever you determine. But have the conversation with your children about what the determined time is and what the expectations are. Be sure you're communicating clear expectations with your children. Everyone wants to know their expectations. But it causes this friction and this frustration when kids get in trouble, or when anyone gets in trouble for not meeting an expectation that they didn't know existed. I mean, think of how frustrated you would be if you got in trouble for something and you were like, I didn't even know I wasn't supposed to do that. So set clear expectations with your children. Let them come up with consequences with you. Okay, so we've determined that this would be a consequence to if you didn't follow these rules. So they know the expectation and they know the consequence and they have buy-in. They agreed upon it with you. But with all this downtime and kitchen table conversations, it's the perfect time to establish these kinds of rules and expectations in your household that will continue once we are all back to living our normal lives back in society. But you can take that time right now. And as always, if you ever need anything, I'm happy to talk with you. I know we're all surviving right now. That screen time is necessary. M&Ms, necessary. And the pantry is always a great place to hide too. But it was great connecting with you, and I look forward to talking with you all again soon.